Hello, everyone. This is Dave, and this is Moonride, where I channel the man in the moon. So today, first of all, thanks to the viewers for sending me so many comments. If I have not responded, it's just I just haven't quite had time. Doing a lot of things at the moment. Also, thanks for your submissions of could you please read on. I'm going to read on all of the people that you have requested when it becomes possible. That doesn't mean that it will become possible, but I will try. The other thing is that the message that I'm getting right now is Avenatti, that he's somebody that we would channel on right now, and it would be productive and useful. I just want to make a note to everyone. The purpose of my channeling is to bring some calm to a very desperate situation politically that we are in right now. I want to let the viewers know over and over that I am told that America will emerge from this. We will not succumb to a fascist dictatorship. We really will come out better. This is an inoculation. This is a warning of the kind of government we could have if we are not vigilant, right? And let's just check into Avenatti and see what he knows, right? Well, let's just say for one thing, Mr. Avenatti has sure got a big smile on his face. He's like this. You know those swords that are like I think they're called a rapier, and they're those long, thin, pointy swords, and I think they're good because they move around really quickly. That's what I see him holding in his hand, and he's smiling as he stretches out the long rapier. And when I don't know if you've ever fenced before, but when you go fencing, a lot of it is about the waiting for the right opening, the right moment to touch, the right moment to do something. You don't whip around a lot. You just kind of wait for the moment. So that's what I'm getting out of Avenatti. He's just waiting. He's just sitting there sharpening his sword, just waiting till the right moment where he's going to give it a good jab. Um, one thing I'm kind of interested in Avenatti is, are you a good person? Like, I just want to know, is he a good guy? Is he doing this for something more than fame, or is there some patriotism involved? Which is why I'm going to ask him right now. Yeah, there's a large degree of patriotism in him. Something happened when he was younger, something tragic. I think that somebody died, or I see traffic accident, or I just see somebody in a car coming out in a body bag. Something happened, some tragedy happened, and he, at that moment, it really changed him. I don't know what this has to do with justice, but it changed him. He made a commitment for the rest of his life that um, he would do justice. I think it's maybe I don't know if it had something to do with his mom. The person who was injured was a woman. I think she got blamed for something, and she didn't have the power to. Maybe they were in an accident and she took the blame. But there was something where his mom or a woman close to him got a lot of grief. Um, yeah, he also has a daughter. I didn't know that he had a daughter, and I'm speaking as a human. I have no idea if he has a daughter or not. Maybe it's just a symbolic child that has long dark hair, and maybe again it's just a sort of symbolic him being a good father and taking care of this girl, and maybe he's just like the kind of person who wants to impart a certain power on his on women in general. Yeah, something happened. And you know what? It's like has to do with the corruption that he saw around him. There was some real terrible corruption around him, and because of that somebody close to him was hurt. And he said at that moment, "You know what? I am never going to stop doing this. I'm never going to stop helping people." Um, and trying to do the right thing. And it's kind of like, you know what? I'm a man, and I'm a lawyer, and I have the power to help. Other people don't have the power to help. They didn't get the education that I got, or they suffered in some ways that didn't bring them to this position. So, and I'm going to ask now, Avenatti, what do you got? What's next? Um, Yeah, let me tell you guys, the spirits are very funny. When they show me some things, you can tell it's real because they have a really funny sense of humor. So those things that my mom used to have this where you keep mail and it's like it's pointy and you just take one piece of paper after another after another after another. That kind of where you like sort of stack the bills up by poking a hole through them. He's almost using his rapier like that, like. Whew, I'm racking them up. I'm racking up the paperwork. One paperwork, another piece of paperwork. Um, is it on the third? Or is it on the fifth? Which date is it? Come on, Avenatti, you're not being clear here. Um, okay, 5 days. Fairly soon there's going to be something major in 5 days. Now, it is Thursday in America now. Um, I'm in Australia, so it is. I'm sorry, it is Tuesday in America now, right? It's Wednesday in Australia. So 5 days from now. He keeps showing me different numbers. I don't know why. But I think in about 5 days, a number of things will happen. Like what will happen then? What about 5 days? The Trump train will stop in its tracks. Like, imagine like a freight train going and the two rails splitting and the train just stops. The Trump train will stop in its tracks. This will be an important event. It'll really knock the socks off these guys. Like, okay, now I'm seeing Giuliani. It seems like that is the moment when Giuliani reveals himself to be totally incompetent if he has not done so already. It'll just be like bumbling, befuddled old man on television talking about blah 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 and just looking like a deer in headlights. Like I don't know how to do with this one. Um, and even a realization on Giuliani's part, like I can't do this. Like I don't I've reached the level of my capacities, and this is starting to look like real trouble for me. Like he's starting to think about, well, maybe I really don't want to be part of. I used to love the limelight, but maybe this kind of limelight ain't going to be the best thing for me. Um, he's feeling insulted. He's feeling like he just got a pie in the face. Like he's going to be walking down the street and people are spitting at his feet. Right, he's just feeling the heat of the American response of what kind of a toady he really is. Um, yeah, and he comes through as just like a nasty old man, a nasty old man who likes the limelight and thinks about himself and how it's good for himself. Yeah, like we think about 9/11 and well, wasn't Giuliani great? You know what? All that stuff was done by policemen and firefighters. It was all set up by his minions. He didn't ruin it, but another person could have done just as well. He was just the lucky guy who happened to take the credit. All right, let's get back to Avenatti. He's still sharpening that sword, right? What else? Okay. Ha! Okay. So now Venati actually is appealing to me like a pirate, like that sword is now like a hook. And he's just about to storm the ships. I mean, he's just about to like get on the enemy ships. He's just like, and all the pirates are just gonna land on that ship and they're gonna just take over. And they're just left and right. They're just like, just destroying the ship. Avenatti's like, yeah, you know what? I have the power to do it. I've been waiting a long time in my life to to do something like this and to really come forward in my true colors. It's like, this is why I became a lawyer. I became a lawyer for justice. Um, Ha, okay, he's gonna really enjoy it. It's like he's making Trump walk the plank, and he's just like, "Yeah, there you go, Captain Bligh. Finally, you get your just desserts, and I'm really gonna enjoy every step of the way." And really, from here on in, it's all gonna be about Trump walking the plank. He's just like, "Look, it's over." He's like, "This battle is over. You don't know that it's over yet, but I do because I've seen enough paperwork and there's enough evidence to just put an end to this presidency." Um, all right, so Devin Nunes is coming up. Um, okay. Devin Nunes is like a first mate on the ship, and he's taking one look at the water, and he's like, "Wow, there's a lot of sharks out there. This isn't looking good." Nunez is not looking happy about this, and Avenatti is saying, "Look, I found some of this evidence that links Nunez to some of the evil deeds that are going on, and he's finished." Right? So, like, now he's going to be a completely discredited person, and he's just looking on the horizon like, wow, I'm in trouble. Um, yeah, Avenatti is aware of a lot of payments to a lot of big players. They include Nunez, other members of the Senate, NRA, some other corporation that does something with milk. I just keep seeing a box of milk. Um, could be like Carnation or something like that. Um, Interesting. Stormy Daniels has shown up. It's really interesting. We have these stereotypes of people and what they're like, and this is what a porn star should be like this, and she's just kind of a, yeah, like that's just my job. I'm just a regular mom. Otherwise, I have this job that people think about it in a certain way, and yeah, I wear a lot of makeup, but um, you know, I gotta say I like her. Like the presence around her, I have a good feeling about her. She's very savvy, but she's generally just a good person. She's not. There's nothing that she did wrong. Ooh, and I'm getting this impression. Ah, that's what she's telling me. Okay, she's like, look, that guy really did threaten me. My daughter was in the car, and that guy really did threaten me. And she said, look, I was afraid. And that moment that I was afraid, I connected to all women who have to go through these things, regardless of their profession, where they're afraid, where they're put in a position where you have to protect your child, you have to keep quiet. And that just made her so mad. She just got so angry there. In that moment, she's just like, you know what? I've got nothing to lose right now, politically anyway, and I'm gonna do it. I'm going after this guy. And it was just those moments. Okay, I can see that fellow. You know what? I'm getting the feeling that they're gonna figure out who that guy is. I'm seeing the guy, and I just see that, the drawing of his face, the guy who threatened Stormy Daniels, and I'm seeing him, with a hoodie, and the cops are coming, and they're putting the cuffs on him. And I mean, that's a situation that looks like it'll go to court in and of itself. And like it'll go to court, and this guy will be, facing prison. So he might start singing too, because he did other bad things. All right, this is gonna be unpleasant, but I'm gonna look at this guy. Again, on viewers, I'll tell you, sometimes when you're doing this work, you don't want to look at some people's soul. You don't want to know. It's really uncomfortable. Sometimes you feel the feelings that these creepy people have, and it's just like, ugh. But let's take a look. Let's see. If I'm being shown him, it must be important. Justice. Yeah, justice. And I like to tell my viewers what images I see that I translate. First of all, because sometimes I'm wrong. I generally get it, but it's not perfect. It's sometimes like, that image has a meaning to me only, or it has a meaning to society as a whole. Often, the image has all of the meanings, right? So it has a meaning to me and has a meaning to culture and society. So things can be true in many ways. But I keep seeing Lincoln. I keep seeing Abraham Lincoln, and it's like justice has arrived, and justice has arrived, and that there will be justice here. Okay, that statue of Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial. Well, Avenatti's climbed up there and he's sitting on his lap. That's great. Avenatti's telling me, he's like, look, I'm sitting in the seat of justice. I am in the right place, and it is like, and it's true, justice for all. I mean, justice for a porn star is justice. Justice for all. We are all equal in the eyes of justice, and we as Americans have forgotten that. But there come back. Lincoln didn't die for our country, so it could become debased. Um, okay, Lincoln. Anything else? Okay, he's like, I'm a separate reading. Okay, let's go back to Avenatti. He's like, look, it's right around the corner. It's just a question of time. Um, and then let's ask Spirit and see if Avenatti shows up. Trump, how long is he going to last? August, I'm getting August. Yeah, I'm getting that it's August. It's hot. Um, and it's kind of like building up, just as the summer heat is going to build up, the pressure is just going to build up like a pressure cooker. And August is just going to go. Um, yeah, I mean, by August, I see Trump like really having just psychological, like really like a psychological breakdown, like an actual, emotional explosion where, you know, anger takes over. So is he going to resign in August? So August is the crisis period. Yeah, all right. Interesting image again. So you see a sword, and imagine if you took rings and you put them on the end of the sword. For some reason, Trump is putting rings on the end, like from top to bottom, and he's got a series of rings there. I see a lot of rings in my work. To me, these right now are meaning like his kids. Um, once they're once they're indicted, it's just going to be like one indictment after the other, and there is nowhere else for him to go, psychologically. And Avenatti's like, standing there going, "Yep, just desserts. Right? We can sit here and feel sorry for people and oh, poor them, but you know what? They did something wrong, and they need to be treated like those who have done something wrong, just like everybody else." And that's all Avenatti is asking. Just treat Trump and his kids and his cohorts just like everyone else. Just give them the same justice. We're not asking for anything extraordinary. We are asking for the same thing that some poor person in the ghetto who's, has a lousy lawyer who's so busy he can spend 20 minutes on his murder case, right? That guy's not getting any justice. That woman's not getting any justice, right? How about some justice now for these guys who have had everything? They've every luxury. They could have gone and spent the rest of their lives on some island someplace and never worked again. But instead, they chose power. Instead, they chose to do something wrong. Instead, they deluded themselves. And this is a moment where we're being confronted with delusional people. And it's not, justice isn't fast, but this is actually a pretty quick justice. He's like this, snap, 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 they're done. It says by September, they will be gone. By September, this will change. Will it have to do with the election? Yeah, the election will help. But it's by election, it's almost a done deal. Like it's just the Republicans getting together thinking, okay, what do we do about that? I don't know what to do. Oh, God. Okay, if we put him in a straitjacket, what do we do? And they're just mumbling like, oh, God, this is bad. Yeah, and one of them's chiming in like, hey, maybe we just impeach him. At least it looks like we did something about it. They're all like, no, grumbling. There's no good outlet for the Republican Party. There's nowhere to go. Problems with the economy will be associated with this. Something dramatic will happen. The economy will bounce back, but something dramatic will happen right around this time. Anything else? Like I see strong winds. Is there some kind of environmental problem or? Interesting. I see strong winds. I don't see it like as a hurricane per se. Just strong winds. Winds of change, maybe. All right. So look at it. It will change, and fairly soon. Something will happen on August 14th. That will be important. Right? Anything else that we need to know? Justice. Look, just as Americans, it's just remember what justice is, right? And think of justice in every way and shape and form that it is. You're interacting with your neighbor. That justice comes up. Act justly, right? If you want a just government, act justly. That doesn't mean you are, righteous all the time. Sometimes you might be wrong, and if you made a mistake, it's time now to apologize, right? If you feuded with someone, it's time to forgive them. It's time to move on. For the sake of your government, for the sake of your psyche, for the sake of our consciousness, it's time to forgive people. That doesn't mean you have to be their friends, but it's time to, at least, you may never even meet them. It's time to forgive the person in your mind, insofar as that is possible. Try to move towards an equitable society where you are just and you're fair and you speak up, but you're not cruel in your justice. Just do the right thing. Really, justice will always prevail. It doesn't seem like that happens because we live on Earth and our vision is minimal, but it really does work. It really is a force that's happening. It's just working in a way that's so complicated that humans don't really understand all the details. But in this case, we're going to see it. I mean, that justice is like the sword of justice is flashing in the light, right? All right, everyone. Thank you for watching.